Hello, peoples. This is Mystic Jinx peeking in with her nosy friend, Nosy Wren. Hey, Nosy, how are you?
Hello!
You made it!
I did by like 30, but I think it was 8 seconds to spare.
I started without you, actually. I was like, I'll just add her in a few minutes when she gets here. So, how are you today?
I'm good, just picked up kids from school and regular life.
Thank you for joining me. Today I have some new news or new records to share with everybody. So
Yes.
I thought we would take a little time and discuss a little bit of them before I release them. I told them that I was going to have you read the whole record.
I swear to God, I will.
I will. Should I put it on here? No, I won't make you do that. It's about 39 pages long. What I got today was, I got it yesterday. I got Carmen Boutwell's Manitowoc City PD record from her report. But before we start that, let's say hi to all the people in chat because we have a bunch of people popping in and saying hello.
Hi, JJ.
Hi, Dark. Hi, Banana Man. Nan's Life, Alice, Robin, Donna, Christina.
BB.
I see Sapper Cop in there. Ryan question mark.
Sapper Cop. I promise you I'm trying daily.
I'm getting there. He's a little more convoluted records and stuff I gotta pull together for him to talk about him if I'm gonna do it this way where I put on all the evidence. So
there's probably so much on that you could probably do a 2-hour live every day for 7 days.
I doubt it. I just want to get through it and be like, bam, okay, there it is.
That's funny.
So I've always been under the impression that Carmen Boutwell's case was investigated by the Manitowoc Sheriff's Department, and it wasn't them.
Interesting.
So it was the Manitowoc Police Department, and for the city, they're the ones who took that case, and so. And so there's question about Remiker being the lead investigator on the Carmen case, and I found that Remiker didn't actually work that case at all. So I have an IMGR here that I'm going to share with everybody.
Okay, I'm reading the comments. They're quite funny.
What are they saying?
Hi, Diane.
What are they saying?
Oh, I was laughing at Jay Jackson, Eric.
So I got the record from the Manitowoc City Police Department, and it was. Let's first go over Remiker first, because that's who that's who I've heard was the lead. I'm going to share my screen here. This is the IMGR I put together. This is what I call my bullet points.
Okay. I'm pulling up on my laptop so I can see it more clear.
Okay. You're going to have to tell me how it looks on screen, guys, because...
Oh, wait. Shit. I can hear you.
Hold on. Turn me off! you know, what up with that? Why can't I find my window?
Okay.
It is not coming up here. Why isn't that coming up?
Where's my picture? Why do I not have a picture?
Firefox.
What?
Let me put this in here. Let's try it this way. Select a window. It is not letting me pull it up. Why is it not letting me pull it up? I might not be able to do this. I can't seem to get this to work right now. I am not getting my screen. It's not coming up, Nosy. You stay here, and I'm gonna leave the studio and come back. You be my intermission for a minute, okay?
Okay, Ripper.
I'm not kidding. I gotta leave and come back and see if it works because it's not letting me share the screen. I'm not even seeing I can do StreamYard, I think. Let's do this for a second.
Or
And then let's remove it.
stupid thing.
Let's try to
There we go.
share screen.
Avatar coming at you.
Yay! Here we go. Allow. Okay, so let's first talk about Remiker. Remiker was on the Teresa Halbach case in the beginning. He was there on the 3rd, he was there on the 5th, and he was there on the 6th. For the 5th and 6th at the Stephen Avery Yard. He did stop in at the Stephen Avery Yard on the 4th. As you all know, he did a search of the property and saw no wrongdoing. So I want to talk about him. This is the schedule that was released in the CASO 2.0, and I highlighted Remiker here. He was scheduled to work the 1st through the 5th, and he was supposed to have a personal day, work on the 7th, and then he had vacation for like 11 days in that November, that second week of November to the 3rd week of November. He was going to be off for vacation. The X's are the days that he had off. The days that aren't are the days that he would work.
You already said make it bigger.
Make it bigger.
That's what she said.
How's that? Is that big enough? Does the size really matter? I mean, oh yeah, it does. I forgot. Anyone who tells you otherwise lies. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, I can't see any screens but my Imgur, so you're going to have to help me out on this. So everyone can see that Remiker was on vacation. He was supposed to be vacationing from the 8th to the 25th, which he would have had a holiday on, which was probably Thanksgiving that year. These are his actual timesheets. I will have links for all of these records. As always, I will put them in after the live. I did not get a chance to put some of these in yet. So this is Remiker's actual schedule. On the 3rd, he had to be compensated because he ended up taking a day off that day. He was at a basketball game when he got called in to work the 3 hours of overtime that he did for the Teresa Halbach case on the 3rd. So he called in 9:30 to 22:30 hours, missing adult, and the case number he put in there. He had a couple of he had some sick time, so I'm sure they compensated him that time so that he would get his overtime for being called in on a day off. I don't know why he took this day off, but he got compensated for it to get his overtime. And then he worked on the 4th and the 5th for 8 hours. He worked 7.5 hours of overtime. He also marks that right there, the Halbach investigation, 1,600 to 2,300 hours. And then this is the next week. This is for the 6th through the 19th. On the 6th, he worked 8 hours. We all know he worked, and he was on the property. He was on the property for the Stephen Avery salvage yard, picking up evidence. He was on the property the 5th with the car, serving warrants, searching. But on the 7th and 8th, he only worked 3 hours because those were supposed to be his personal day. Or no, he was supposed to have a personal day on the 6th. And he had 5 hours of vacation on the 7th and 5 hours of vacation on the 8th. He was not on the property after the 6th when the search warrants were being served on the property.
Got it. Remiker.
So I go part where he signs out. He signs out on the 6th at about 7:04 p.m., which he says he was off about 7:30. So he probably had to drive back to the MTSO and sign out, log out, however they do their business. So he's not on the property from the 6th. He's not working the 3rd. He's just not there. What happened was he had a baby that week. He had a baby on the 9th. I pulled a little clip from the Manitowoc paper from the 13th announcing the baby and when it was born on the 9th to Dave and Melissa. So this is why he had vacation time scheduled. It was all his paternity leave. That's a new thing. Men take time off for their wives to help their wives. And And that's what I believe he did. He did not work the case. He came in on the 15th to write a report, I believe it was, which was the day that Stephen Avery's complaint was filed for the arrest and for her murder. So I think he had to write some reports. He was called in. He worked 7 hours that day, 1 hour vacation, and then he's back to vacation for a couple more days. So while I was looking at this Remiker connection, I found an article by John Farrick, who he posted it it was in the Post up there in Green Bay, I believe. And it was his flaws with the conspiracy. He said, there's no apparent credibility to suggest that Boutwell was murdered or that the Manitowoc Sheriff's Department managed to sneak some of Boutwell's bones out of the Pfeffer Funeral Home and Crematorium in Manitowoc as part of an elaborate and deliberate plan to frame Avery for the missing photographer's disappearance. Moreover, Boutwell's overdose death was investigated by the Manitowoc Police Department, not the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. The city's 38-page investigative file obtained by US Today Network through a public records request makes no mention of any sheriff's deputy probing Boutwell's case or responding to the scene. So I was like, oh, well, hell, there's a report that I can get. Let's get that report, right? Let's see if there's any sheriff's department. She died in the city of Manitowoc, so it would be the city of Manitowoc Police Department that would investigate her case. So that makes sense. So I did. There's some like rumors going around on how she died. She was sitting up when she died. She had a Pepsi can in her hand when she died. And that there's all this evidence that was taken that could have been switched with the Halbach case somehow, with Remiker being the lead investigation on both cases. And this just isn't what I found. This isn't the research that came back. What I found was at with my record request, which I will push. Let me post that really quick. I'm going to post this record. This is the 39-page report for Carmen Boutwell from the Manitowoc City Police Department. Let me find my screens here.
Are you going page by page, or are you just doing one specific page?
I'm just going to go with a few specific things. I'm going to give people the opportunity to go ahead and read it themselves. I posted a link in the chat. If you want to read it, it's there. I'm just going to go through a couple of little small things I had taken off of off of the record just to show that it was investigated by the police department and not the sheriff's department. At 8:14 in the morning, Officer Stone was dispatched to the address of the 24-year-old female. I'm not sure why they redact some of the words. Some of the words they redact are like overdose, methadone,
so
the drug names that might be in her stuff. So you'll see this in the records as you read them. But the first people on the scene was Officer Stone, who is a city police officer, and the rescue squad had also been dispatched to this address. As he was responding, he noticed that dispatch had updated information on his computer screen, and upon reading it, he heard that the female was apparently cold to the touch. And when he arrived, the paramedics had been there. They were Carrie Peck, Mark Volker, and Carl Koch, and they were already on the scene. So the first responding people are the paramedics and one Officer Stone from the PD. Not Remiker, not any officer from Manitowoc Sheriff's Department or anything like that. And what they found was Teresa's friend and her grandmother had found her body shortly after the friend was awakened by the grandmother, who was trying to wake up Carmen for school that day. And so this is a little recount of what Miller said, because it will tell you how her body was found. This says, Miller recalled Boutwell saying she was going to switch the music on. This is after they got home at like 2:30 in the morning. She went over to Carmen. She was staying the night. And Boutwell was saying she was going to switch the music. And Miller said she must have passed out or fell asleep, because she doesn't remember ever changing the music, I'm guessing. She said she'd only been at Boutwell's apartment about 10 minutes before passing out or falling asleep. And when asked about Boutwell had been drinking, Miller said it would have been beer, shots of McGillicuddy, and some other liquor. And then they go on to talk to her about what happened that morning. And she goes on to say, when Miller had gone back into the apartment after calling the grandma up, she found Boutwell on the living room floor in front of the entertainment center. Miller said she shook Boutwell, but she did not respond, and Boutwell felt cold. She said she realized Boutwell was not breathing and knew that she was dead. Miller said she then lifted Boutwell into her lap while Miller was sitting on the couch. She did not attempt any life-saving measures, and he asked Miller what position Boutwell was in when she had found her. So Miller showed by getting into a fetal position with her knees pulled up near her chest, then having her shins and face touching the floor, face down. So she was in a fetal position with her knees on the ground and her face on the ground. The grandmother recalls Miller then came downstairs from the upper apartment, told her she could come up. Escher saw Boutwell on the living room floor, and Miller was by her and trying to move her. She advised then that Miller rolled Boutwell over. There was a compact disc case under her face. Escher picked up the case off the floor and placed it on the coffee table in the living room. Nothing about any Pepsi can being in her hand or anything being in her hand, just that she was on the floor, face down, and that's kind of how she died, which is very sad, but in all honesty, I've actually seen that before when this guy drank himself to death. That was my neighbor, so he kind of died the same way. And then they say at 8:24 in the morning, this Lieutenant Lucherhand requested that Detective Tech and himself, Detective Vogel, respond to the death scene at this address in Manitowoc. So here you have two other Manitowoc City policemen going to investigate the death of this Carmen Boutwell. And then they talk about the evidence that they collected. So I'm going to bring this up because this whole Pepsi can thing has been bothering me, because this is supposedly a Pepsi can placed or rumored to be placed possibly in Teresa's vehicle to somehow get DNA, because the whole bones are supposedly Carmen's, which I'm not quite sure I believe that. What I did find was there was liquid from a Budweiser glass, there was Budweiser glass, there was a Busch 12-ounce beer can, not Pepsi, liquid from K3, which was the Busch can, top brand rolling papers and tobacco, a smoking device, glass, which was most likely a marijuana pipe, an ashtray and its contents, black trifold wallet, a pill bottle with somebody's name on it in the kitchen, a couple of pills, a smoking device in the master bedroom, possible marijuana cigarettes, so she had some joints, the black zipper CD case that was in the living room on the coffee table that the grandmother had moved from underneath her, more smoking devices, a cellular phone, possible marijuana, and a cigarette. And the last one says Carmex, but I don't know why I didn't quite I clipped the wrong one, because I clipped this one for a purpose. There was talk about a hairbrush being taken and returned to the family as well. I don't see that here on this list. And this list is the list that was signed by family when they received the items from the Manitowoc City Police Department in February of 2006. And here is the little report about it. Judith Wilson, who was the mother, reported to the police department and claimed the following personal property of Carmen Boutwell: the ashtray, the black trifold wallet, the zippered case, and the cellular telephone. She initiated next to each item and signed off on it, which is what we just saw above. So what we have here, and then I just threw this in there too. The coroner was actually the one who, with the Sergeant Perrone, also from the city police department, was the one to make contact with the family, her next of kin, and it was the coroner that made contact to Pfeffer Funeral Home and Crematorium, and it was her who set up the removal of the body by them, and then they made the arrangements for the autopsy, which would be completed on the deceased either later that afternoon or early that morning, and it would be done by the Doug Kelly at the Waukesha County Medical Examiner's Office. So they already knew this when they, were releasing the body to the funeral home on the 3rd, that it was going to be this Waukesha County Medical Examiner's office that she was going to be going to. Now, they mentioned the report for the autopsy coming back. I do have a copy of the 7-page autopsy, which I shall release as well. Let me see where that is. I'm going to put this in the chat here. It's hard. I need my Linda. Linda, where are you, Linda?
She's
where are
here.
you, Linda?
She just got here a couple minutes ago.
Where am I? Where am I? So many pages open. I don't know how you guys do this. Pages open. So, it would be kind of ridiculous to think that the Pfeffer Funeral Home would release the body to anybody other than the coroner doing the thing and then coming back. And I just am not getting, I'm like very popular right now and it's distracting. So anyway, so here is the autopsy report. I'm just putting in here the actual list of things that were found within her, on her person when they took her over to have her autopsy. I'm assuming this is stuff that was in her pockets and on her person. And I'll go over it. It's not, not a lot. A black bra, like what they're taking off of her pants, her 3 lighters, some scents, a Camel Cash coupon, metal earrings, a plastic bag with green leafy substance, which was most likely marijuana, a partially burned cigarette, which was a joint. There's no mention here either of any Pepsi cans or any there's Carmex, but not chapstick like they got in Teresa's case. There's really nothing to connect the evidence with Carmen's evidence from her apartment and what was on her person with what was found in Teresa's RAV or what they took for Teresa's DNA evidence at all. So I just wanted to clear that up. I mean, of course, you guys are all welcome to go read the documents for yourself and make your own opinions and assumptions and theories out of whatever you read. I just wanted to clear it up because I feel like this girl most likely died of a drug overdose, an accidental, well, we know she died of an accidental drug overdose, most likely. Accidental. I don't think there was anything like somebody was purposely giving her drugs to kill her or anything like that. It wasn't investigated by the Manitowoc Sheriff's Department, so not the same corrupted department that's investigating the Halbachs. I find the police department have been very nice and giving me the record, and I met one of them when I was out there for the rally in 2019 when we had a small car accident in the car that I was in, and so there was. I don't see any nefariousness there. I mean, could they find a doctor that's giving out methadone and maybe charge him with something? I think also that is a tough one to prove who it was given to and who gave it to Carmen and who gave it to this person and that person. Was it actually sold? Was it just friends sharing drugs? It's questionable on what they can actually prove if there was any type of suspicious, murderous type of thing for this case. I just don't see it. I wish she would just let her rest in peace. I do want to wish her a happy heavenly birthday. Her birthday was, I believe, on 8/14, just 4 days ago. And I found the rock. I was supposed to bring this rock with me to Manitowoc and leave it around Manitowoc, and I forgot it, but I did paint her a rock. So the next time I'm up there, I will bring it with and put it somewhere for someone to find in memory of her. And that's really much it. I mean, as far as she goes, I mean, I really don't think there's any connection to the sheriff's department and
not after getting those reports and reading them, no.
And finding out it was not the sheriff's department, but the city police department.
And the fact that they are factually not related.
That too, that was one of the other videos, just so everyone knows. There is another video I did that is, she She was not related to Teresa Halbach. Carmen and them are not cousins. They do have a set of cousins both in their trees that have cousins that are related, but they are not necessarily cousins at all. T1 wants to know, was CB possibly an informant? That I've never seen anything that shows that. I know she had an upcoming court case that she was dealing with, and I believe that was for possession of marijuana. I'm not quite sure what that was. Actually, I wrote it down somewhere. Let me see if I can.
Someone sent me a little. I didn't know that Teresa's funeral service was televised.
Well, was it televised, or was there a couple of news outlets there?
No. Teresa's funeral was broadcast live, yet Carmen and Christine Rudy got very little attention.
I did not know that. I knew that there were. We know that there were cameras there, and they filmed people there, and that it was on the news in some sort of way. But I didn't know that they aired like the whole thing.
I didn't either. I just found this info out. I don't know if I was supposed to say it on the live, but I did.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're free to say whatever you want.
J-Jax just said, yep.
Yep. So, that is not bad.
That's what I thought, though.
Rest in peace, Carmen Boutwell. May she be remembered for the person that she was to her family, with lots of love and good memories, and not because she was a victim. She was, a person who passed away too early, too young in life. And hopefully it'll put an end to, I still don't. Maybe they did use somebody else's bones to put over there. I still think it was Teresa's bones. They would never have planted any bones if they didn't know they were actually hers at some point. So.
I do too. I definitely think it was Teresa's body, but how it became to be in that form, I still just do not know. I don't. J-Jack says people should know and understand how her case was handled. I agree.
Well, again, you can see the records. I will link all of these records that I showed you today in the description. At some point today, after the live, I will go and add the Carmen Boutwell 39-page report from the police department, which is here.
Y'all should read it.
And the autopsy report. It's just a sad story of, a young girl going too young.
Eric Banana Man said Carmen having an open casket doesn't give them enough time to use Carmen's bones.
I agree too. I didn't pull that up, but it is said Carmen had an open casket funeral on the 8th, and she was cremated afterwards. By the 8th, right, there's supposedly mention, at least, of bones being 8 feet south of Avery's yard. A box was picked up by Ertl. On the 9th, you have a phone call saying that there's bones over there in the quarry. Why would they plant her bones in the quarry at all then? I mean, if they're using, Carmen's bones that were just taken from a funeral home, they could just go dump them directly into Avery's yard. I don't understand why they would bring them through the quarry at all in the way that they did. So it just seems unlikely to me that it's Carmen's body because of all of that. And the family, I was watching something with John Boutwell. It was one of the other YouTubers that talked to him, and there was talk about the city or the county paying for her funeral, and he made sure to mention that his father had worked his butt off to pay for the funeral and cremation, so there was nothing nefarious there that I am aware of them paying for any funeral services or cremation for Carmen that would give them anywhere near Carmen being cremated to take her bones.
Right. Exactly.
Sapper Cop wants to know, how would they have known they were her bones, though? Well, I guess that means they burned her body, right? Like, that's my theory, because they didn't want to have any evidence on there like they did with Penny Bernstein's case to have come back to any other person, like the pubic hairs in that Penny Bernstein case in the 80s. So I just believe that they found her body within the back of the RAV where all the blood was, where she was whacked in the head, and they made sure that there was not going to be very much evidence. They made sure that they were going to manipulate the people on the Avery yard so they didn't have these 21 witnesses they had in the beginning of the 85 case saying that it couldn't have been Stephen. You know, they turned everybody against each other. You now have a family member on the stand pointing at Avery. You know, it's like they had to do it differently.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. I think it's two crimes. I think it was a crime of anger, passion with, of course, my top
My whole
suspect is
question in
Ryan.
all
Everybody
this,
knows that. And then the
my whole
cops.
question in all this has been, how did it go about? Like, if they weren't watching Steven to some degree, how did Teresa get randomly picked out of anybody they could have chosen to, set him up? Like, how?
Well, according to some theorists, it's because they were watching him and they knew that she was a regular coming out to take pictures at the Avery yard for
Yeah,
the Auto Trader. So
that could be too.
that would be where that theory comes from. I don't know, Sap or Cap, about the blood thing. I don't know. Can you still suck blood out of somebody and use it and not know that it's from a dead person if the person is 3 days sitting, rigor mortis, and everything else?
Well, I know there won't be any oxygen going through the blood, and also, I mean, blood starts to settle once you die, which is what lividity is. So,
And that's what they talk about in Carmen's thing, how she had lividity in her knees and her chest from being in the position that
that's
she was
sad.
in. Yep. Those are some of the words they knocked out of Carmen's: rigor mortis, lividity.
Oh yeah, I saw the rigor mortis and decomposition.
Yep.
Well, that's all I got. I wanted to see who the actual detectives were on the case, and I wanted to see the evidence list. So,
well, that's all I wanted to get across, at least at this time. Of course, everybody's welcome to go look at the records and make their own determinations. And there's nothing in it, though, from the sheriff's department. It's all police department investigation. So this was kind of a short video.
Saper says
I'm gonna find my screen.
She was not regular enough to be on a consistent cycle. I thought she had been going out there since January and had been about 10 times, but J-Jack said, I feel certain something else would have happened if the Teresa thing didn't fall in their lap. And I agree with that for sure.
I do believe that is the coincidence there, that she happened to be murdered and was at Avery's. Well, that's the only coincidence in this case. Everything else, yep.
Okay.
Is that your little nosy? Hi, little nosy.
It just keeps on pausing.
What does?
My computer.
Oh. Okay. You got some lag there, it sounds like.
I'm good there, yeah. Saper says, wait, we still have several hours to go.
We'll leave that for Ryan. Ryan's going to be the couple hours one.
Banana, you go to sleep right now.
Just like it. No, T1. I don't think it was premeditated in the way that some think that the cops set it all up. I believe there's two crimes. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not going to say you sit here and be like, I know, I'm right. I've been wrong on lots of things. So it's just, in my opinion, it just seems like a heat of the moment kind of kill, and then the cops using that to their advantage to get rid of those lawsuits and put him back. When am I covering Ryan? I'm going to try to get to Ryan on Saturday at about 4:20. I think I like the 4:20 time just because I'm me. So I think I'm going to start with Ryan's dad, a little bit on him on Saturday. I still have some stuff to get together for even his dad in the case that he was involved in the 80s with Pegalot and Schloter. I don't really think there's a lot. It'll probably be a short, like 10-minute video for him. And then I'll move on into Ryan. I just want to show you the connection between Ryan and his dad. Because, I mean, how are you going to realize that he's his dad unless, I could just say he is, but Really, he is. You know, I'm going to show you how I know that. So I like to cite my sources and get everything out to everybody so they can make their own determinations. As always, if I make a mistake, feel free to put it in the comments below. Tell me right here in chat. If I see it, I will direct it to where it needs to go. I'll look at it, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, I've been wrong before. I've been wrong on quite a few things. So the more records that get released, the more you learn, and the more you can, structure what happened with the more you know. So anything else, guys?
I don't see any more questions.
Now let's just get drunk and go for free for all.
See y'all on the other side. As
maybe
long
we
as Nosy
maybe we should call
has a
Howie.
mustache, you are free to go. I have a mustache just for today. Just today.
She makes a
Okay.
handsome man, don't she?
Well, thanks everyone for hanging out.
One last thing. I have not heard about Becca and how she's doing, but we all are wishing her well and hope we hear soon.
Yes.
So Becca, if you're watching, we love you and we hope you're healing fast and hope to hear from you soon and let us know what's going on with you. We love you. We love everyone. Well, not everyone, but you know.
I was about to say, wait. We do not love everyone.
Wait, Sabercop, if you have a Shirley Temple, will you start singing like her too? Because I would love to see you in all the curls and everything.
I don't want to see that because he
Getting
sounds
it?
like he's a pretty big guy.
That's why it would be
And
funny.
to see his manliness in like a tight dress, I'm not down with that.
Anything about a tight dress. I said curly hair and singing.
Well, if he's gonna have curly hair and dress like
The
Temple,
dress should be like a big poofy, like poodle skirt type of thing, right? Like,
no, he sounds way too manly to do all that.
anyway, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and hit the bell if you like what I'm doing. I will link some links below. I'll put your. You got to send me your link for TikTok so I can link that in there too. So.
Oh, all right.
Other than that, I will check in with you guys hopefully Saturday, and we'll talk a little about Ryan's father, Mark. So we will see you then. Have a good night, everyone.
Later, Gators.
Now I got to see where I close you guys out. Bye.
Bye, bitches.